Today I'm joined by Patrick Cullen, Chief Executive of Focus Xplore. Patrick, always great to catch up. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good to see you, Dan. Nice to catch up again.
Brilliant. Yeah, so now Focus released an exploration update this morning announcing that first pass work is completed at 6 of its new Ontario projects. Can you give us a little bit of an overview of the work that you've been doing over the past few months?
Yeah, well, so, we acquired these projects back in March alongside some funding. It's been an exceptionally busy period. Very pleased with the amount of work that we've achieved. We've been on 6 projects, 9 properties in total. We've pretty much achieved all of the work that we set out to do in terms of ground coverage. We've had multiple teams on the ground, sometimes 2 and 3 teams on different parts of the projects at on different days. So yeah, very pleased. A lot of work done, and not just an update, I think, today, but also shows some real tangible progress. And really, what we're keen to do, and we have an early stage exploration portfolio, so we've been very keen to quickly, to try and prioritize projects and focus our resources, what we see in the most positive direction.
Absolutely, yeah, you've definitely been busy and delivering on what you said you were going to do. So one of the highlights I noticed was the identification of pegmatites at various locations across Bay Road, Iver and Ober. Can you tell us a little bit more about these pegmatites and why they stand to be so significant?
Well, okay, so the Bay Road is a rare earth target predominantly, and we've identified pegmatites there as well as felsic intrusive. In fact, the original mapped target that was mapped by the OGS back in 2001, associated with some very, very interesting dysprosium, neodymium anomalies in lakesides nearby. That was, we didn't know what we were going to find there, and we've been very pleased that we were first able to identify felsic intrusives and pegmatitic material that's in the same vein as that. Over at Iva and Oba, we've identified pegmatites that were mapped back in the 60s and 70s, but we've also been able to identify new pegmatites. We used remote sense data, this LiDAR data that we've been looking at. We used satellite imagery as well as we've been looking at infrared non-visible bandwidths to try and identify outcrops. We've had some success there. So very, very pleased. We're finding pegmatites, we're finding new pegmatites, and we're starting to hone our targeting ability, which is great because it means that we can be very efficient in our fieldwork as well. That's one side of it. But essentially, the pegmatites are the target, right, Dan? Now, the next question is whether they're going to be mineralized or barren. Whether they're gonna be of interest, or whether they're gonna lead us, whether the samples we take from them will lead us to a significant discovery. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely. So another thing you announced was the early indications of fertile granites at Iver and Ober from your PXRF work. Is that related to the pegmatites? Can you say a bit more about that?
Absolutely. So that's the thing. I mean, I think I noted there that we'd submitted 73 samples at this stage for assay. Now, many of those are pegmatite material, and we look forward to seeing whether we detect mineralization at different levels. Helps us guide us to discovery. We may be lucky; we might find some high lithium. But in addition to that, we're also sampling the country rock, because the country rock are the granites and the other material that surrounds these projects. Now, the granites, I think we describe them as potentially being fertile. Now, what we need to do is we need to know if we're in the right part of the world in terms of, are these granites the kind of granites that are fertile? And that basically means, are they granites that that can produce pegmatites that are actually commercially interesting in terms of their lithium content or their rare earth content? I think I could probably explain a little bit about what I mean there in terms of a fertile granite. Essentially, when you get a large magma intrusion up out of the Earth's mantle, it's pretty homogeneous. It contains a range of different elements. The problem is nobody's mining granites for mineralization because the concentrations are too low. But what happens in a big magma chamber, in a large batholith or something that's been intruded, is that you get fractionation. So what you get is you get different minerals dropping out, crystallizing at different levels, and so you get a gradual fractionation of that magma. And what you get left with at the end of that process are what they call the most evolved magmas. These can be fertile for lithiums, for the rare earths, and those are the ones we're chasing. And those fertile magmas are the ones that then produce offshoots out of that, the very final crystallization, these coarse, what we describe as pegmatites, pegmatites that may contain mineralization. So we want to be around, we want to be 10Ks, 5Ks, we want to be in the vicinity of fertile magmas. I hope that goes somehow to explain, a little bit of the thinking there. So yes, so we'll get a lot of information back from whole rock analysis, but it's not always just going to be pegmatites. It's also going to give us that sort of wider geological understanding, helps us to vector towards the places we need to focus our efforts in terms of what comes next.
Absolutely, yeah, thanks for that. And on that note, so Bay Road, Iver and Ober have all now been designated as priority projects. So once you got those results in, what are your next steps across all three?
Well, we're already we already view these as priorities. The work, the results that will come in the coming weeks will help us to hone that down to even more specific areas. Let's say, giving us a better understanding. Will adjust our thinking here and there. But I think, look, given our scale, what we're about early stage discovery. That's what's going to move the needle for the share price and for the shareholder in Focus Xplore. So, we're a small company with limited resources in terms of people and funds, right? So, if we were a much larger company, perhaps we might keep tipping away at all of these projects piecemeal. We think this is the right strategy now. We're sticking to this course where we assess and we move. And there's other opportunities out there. So we don't want to get stuck on 1 or 3 or 5 projects and then that's it. We're about discovery. And if we're not in the right place, we'll get ourselves in the right place. I suppose that's the way to look at it.
Yeah. So it's a step-by-step approach, doing what you can with the resources available. And sorry. No, I was just going to ask you, are you going to, kind of on that note, are you going to continue integrating AI into the work you're doing moving forward to support?
Well, yeah, so I think that came up quite strongly in the RNS as well, because we've been using the AI in a very practical way in helping us with our imaging and detection of lineations and patterns that allow us to move the field crews to places where we think you're going to see outcrop, where they're going to see pegmatite's an interesting structure. And that's worked, by and large. It worked very well at Bay Road. It's worked at Oba as well. I haven't gone into great detail on that, but we went into Oba. I think we discovered the majority of the pegmatites that we did find, we found by sending guys to a place that nobody had ever mapped or seen a pegmatite before. So that's a win, okay? In terms of integrating the AI, a separate effort is, we came into these claims. They were underpinned by a lot of various data, but including a lot of lake sediments data, which were reviewed by a geologist and selected on this basis. The AI has much greater capacity to interlink. So 63,000 lake sediments across northwestern Ontario, okay? And each one of those has all the analyses for all the different elements. And some of those elements, the AI is able to understand, and especially the AI tool that we're using with Planetary AI, the Explore tool, that was developed out of a commercial arm of the BGS, the British Geological Survey, that has within it geological models that connect different types of elements and how they relate in terms of their proportions, and its iterative approach. And it starts to recognize the conditions and the connections that lead to express prospectivity. Yeah. So we've done that again separately. Like we started with that process. We got, I won't say distracted, but we had a more urgent need in terms of the visualization. And then when we went off to do the field work, the guys over at Planetary AI went back to to the original task, which was assessing the broader geologic data. It's been really interesting. We're not showing that data because we don't want to show everybody where the prospectivity, what our prospectivity results are. So, and that's fine, and that's not going to be happening anytime soon. But it's been very encouraging. We've seen good correlation between some of the results where we know there's been exploration success, where we see prospectivity, the system seeing prospectivity. If we can make a discovery that matches the two, the work that we're doing on the ground, our sort of more, should I say, traditional geological approach to and match that with the AI approach, then I think we're really onto something really special, and I think hugely significant. And so any mineralization that we identify that way and then prove up, and it's an iterative, we'll learn, it'll learn, iterative approach. That's potentially a game changer. But I'm very, very pleased about it. I had a great catch up with the guys late last week, been chatting this week, and take it forward.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to catching up again soon as Focus continues to push forward in Ontario. For now, though, Patrick, thank you very much for your time today.
Dan, pleasure to talk to you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.